The 18th annual Arise Detroit Neighborhoods Day is scheduled for Saturday, August 3rd. This year's event features a new campaign called My Neighborhood Matters. Residents are being encouraged to share stories about their neighborhoods in essays and photos and videos that are going to be posted on Arise Detroit's website and social media platforms. More than 100 events will take place across the city on Neighborhoods Day, including community improvement projects, school supply giveaways, art and music festivals, and resource fairs. I got all of the details from Arise Detroit Executive Director, Luther Keith. Luther Keith, it's always great to see you, and it is always great to talk about Arise Detroit and Neighborhoods Day. It's coming up.
It is coming up August the 3rd here in Detroit, our 18th annual Arise Detroit Neighborhoods Day. We like to call it the largest community-wide community service day in the nation. And we will have more than 100 events in Detroit, again, stretching from 8 Mile Road, literally all the way to Belle Isle, and in most zip codes all over the city, where people will have all kinds of health fairs, food supply, school supply giveaways, concerts, festivals. We have parades, we have car cruises, we have bike runs along the riverfront, some of everything for everybody, and just an ideal day way for people to show off what they're doing to make a difference and show how much they love their communities and how much they want to work to help improve their communities all over Detroit.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like this is now one of the kind of wallpaper kind of events around Detroit. I mean, it's been around a long time. It has persisted
right.
in an incredible way. Go back and talk about the first Neighborhoods Day, where you got the idea and how far it's come.
This is our 18th year. We've done this 18 years in a row. This started again back 18 years ago when we had our first event for Arise Detroit. We had a big volunteer fair down at campus, Marshall's Park, where we had about 50 organizations come down. People signed up to volunteer. The next year, Jane Thomas, the late Jane Thomas, who at that time was a board member with the Skilling Foundation, said, "Why don't we do something for all the neighborhoods of Detroit?" And we said, "We cannot do that. We're a little bitty organization." But think about what happens on Sunday, every Sunday in church in Detroit. Every Sunday in churches in Detroit, I mean, all over Detroit, all these different churches have their own services, their own kinds of way. Mm-hmm. So why don't we take that model? And I know we love the big events in Detroit where everybody goes down to Belle Isle or the Hart Plaza or whatever and gather in thousands. But we said, we're going to flip the script on this and say, we want to make this day about the people in the neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. We're not going to make it about nothing against all the great events we've had, NFL Draft, Grand Prix, Rocket Mortgage, Open Up Train Station. All those events are great. But this event is created for and by people in the neighborhoods of Detroit. It's showing off what they are doing to improve their community and showing them love. And so that's why we try to, you're right, Steve, one of the frustrations, quite frankly, is to get some of our local media to understand this is an incredible thing we're doing here in Detroit. You know, we love the Grand Prix and all the rest of the NFL Draft because it brings people in from all over the country. But let's not forget about the folks who live in this city and the folks who have never given up and the folks who work here every day. Show them some love. That's all we're trying to do with Neighborhoods Day. And again, these people don't do this just on one day. They do it throughout the year. But as we've said, and I've said it on your show before, this is the day that the chocolate cake day for the birthday cake for all the groups, all the churches, all the block clubs, Mr. and Mrs. Jones do all this work, unheralded, unsung. It's a day for them to shine. And when Arise Detroit is fortunate, we've been able to help them shine. And again, the most important thing right now, of course, Steve, is to get folks to register and sign up. Yeah, July 12th is the deadline. You can sign up on our website, arisedetroit.org. We figured out, Steve, that for our $50 registration fee, you're actually going to get more than $400 in goods and services in return. You're going to get a beautiful banner with the name of your organization on it. You're going to get T-shirts. You're going to get, if you're doing a beautification or cleanup project, you're going to get a voucher worth $100. We have gift cards from Myers this year. McDonald's has come in. They've thrown in free coupons for food for Neighborhoods Day this year. And we've got our Neighborhood Transformers book, which is full of information on how to improve neighborhoods. So you're going to get a lot of that. Of course, you'll be posted on our website. If you go to our website right now, arisedetroit.org, you'll see many organizations have already registered. And that's the key right now, getting folks. I want to say this right now. I hadn't planned this, Steve, because I respect you and American Black Journal so much. Anybody who registers and puts American Black Journal in their registration form is going to get a free $25 gift certificate from Meyer, from Rise Detroit, if you say American Black Journal in your registration.
There you go. That's very cool. So I want to talk about some different things that you're doing this year. You had a little wrinkle to Neighborhoods Day.
Yeah, we actually did. We added something where we're calling it the My Neighborhoods Matters campaign, and everybody's jumping on the thing that Black Lives Matter started years ago. But we said, well, let's put a little twist on this. And what Neighborhoods Day, it's been that way all along. My neighborhood matters. And so we try to encourage folks to send us their videos, pictures, stories about why their neighborhood matters. What makes their neighborhood, maybe it's not a great neighborhood from the standpoint of income, but a lot of other things, the people who live on the street, what they do, how they get together. What makes your neighborhood matter? Well, number one, I live here, so that makes it matter. But also because of the people around me, the household come together. And that's why Neighborhoods Day, we see meet and greets, people just coming out of their houses, getting together, getting to know people, getting to know new residents, and shaking hands with old residents. So again, the My Neighborhood Matters campaign is simply a way to put the focus on the people in the neighborhoods. And this is the thing that sometimes we don't appreciate what we have. Sometimes we don't appreciate until somebody outside tells us what we have.
Right.
But this is your day, Neighborhoods Day. Google Neighborhoods Day all over the country. There may be some other Neighborhoods Days, but I doubt that they're any quite the scope of what we're doing here in Detroit, what we've done for 18 years. And all these incredible people that make Neighborhoods Day, like Marvis Cofield of Alkeba Line Village, and Serena Johnson with her golf program and her Hollywood golf program, and so many programs of all kinds all over Detroit, and that is a chance for us to lift them up. And then there's great volunteer opportunities for people as well, because if you go to our website, arisedetroit.org, not only can you register, but every event is listed on whether or not they want volunteers. This year, we're excited about that. My old school, University of Detroit Mercy, and I went to it when it was actually called the University of Detroit, where I got my journalism degree from, I'm proud to say. They're part of Neighborhoods Day this year, too, is they're going to have a team of students volunteering, in addition to being sponsors. And that's one of the great things, too, that we've been able to step in and get some great sponsors to support us. There's so many like Meyer, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Henry Ford Health, and so many others who understand that being a good corporate or foundation citizen is about providing these services to the people of Detroit. And the people really appreciate it, Steve. I can go around the grocery market. I try to be incognito. People stop and say, hey, aren't you that community guy? What's that thing you do? And it's really kind of gratifying to know that people are paying attention. And I just will, at some point, I hope it gets to the stature where you clearly recognize, Steve, that Neighborhoods Day is truly something special, something iconic for the city of Detroit. Every year, the first Saturday of August has been going 18 years. Yeah. This is our 18th year. And as I say, I get in my car and I literally drive all over the city all day long, going to Neighborhoods Day events and seeing people smiling. So that's another great thing. All the events are posted online on our website, arisedetroit.org. You can go right now and you can find the events we have listed by the east side and by the west side, going from downtown to 8 Mile and all parts of Detroit. So it's a great way actually to see the city. You can actually form your own tour. Just circle about 8 or 10 locations and spend the day driving around, learn Detroit, see these people, and you're going to be very inspired. And this is one of the great things about it. Yeah. In these times, I don't need to tell you, Steve, we need things that we can smile and feel good about.
Good stuff. We do. Absolutely. You know, I just hearing about My Neighborhood Matters and the way that you're asking people to write about or photograph or somehow record what's important to them about their neighborhoods. I mean, that's an important cataloging, archiving of not just what you're doing, but what everybody is doing and how they relate to their neighborhoods. We got to make that into a book somehow.
Well, Steve, actually, Steve, I've got some ideas about some things that we want to do. That we're kicking around some ideas about doing something, recording these stories and restoring and storing them in one of our local institutions.
That's fantastic.
And getting and telling these stories. So you saying me that makes me know it's a good idea. So I am going to, because again, I think just think about it. We lost the great Willie Mays. You grew up with Willie Mays. I grew up with Willie Mays. He was our hero. Mm-hmm. And he was the kind of guy that you thought was going to live forever, but none of us do. And to hear his story is so inspiring, and our young people need to hear these stories.
Yeah.
And so, when people pass on, we don't want all those memories, because we can all learn from those stories. We can all be inspired by the stories. How they got over their hurdles can help us teach over how to get over our hurdles. And so I think it is important that these stories be told, legacy be buried. We talk about Black Bottom and all the rest of that, and all the early days of Detroit, when Black folks were basically essentially wiped out of some neighborhoods. And now we're talking about reparations, or however you want to call it, the healing, that all of that. And so these stories and that are in these neighborhoods, and these people who live in these neighborhoods, are very important. And Arise Detroit has been documenting the last 18 years in some ways, but we want to actually take it to another level where we can actually formalize this concept and make people appreciate these stories and inspire them, and give the young people to say, okay, that's the way they did it. That's the way they did it.
Yeah, this is
and
how
we can
we
do
live.
it too. Yeah, absolutely. All
right, Luther, it's always, like I said, it's always great to see you. And I always look forward to this annual discussion we have about Neighborhoods Day coming up August 3rd. Thanks for being here.
Thanks again, Steve, for always reaching out to us and understanding what this day means to Detroit.